In this episode, 50 must-have things that you should have in place for growing on social media. This is probably one of the most valuable episodes I've ever done. And in episode 6, we're going to talk about everything that you need to be doing to make sure that you're growing on social media. Please remember to subscribe to the channel if you're watching this on YouTube. Remember to also leave a review if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, and share it with your friends as well. I'd love more people to be able to watch this and learn from some of the stuff that I'm talking about on these podcasts. So let's jump straight into episode 6 of the Rockin' Social Media podcast. Okay, first up, we're going to start at the top. Your profile picture is one of the most important things with your social media. First of all, you need to make sure that you're using the same picture across all of your platforms so that no matter what page people land on, they know it's you. Make sure that your image is clear and it almost says in your picture as well what it is that you do. So if you're a DJ, maybe you've got a picture of you wearing some headphones or a gig, but just make sure that it's a very clear image, not too much going on in the background, not too far away, not too close to the camera. Just a really clear image. What a lot of people do is they'll remove the background and add in a color as well to make it pop. That's something you can think of. But yeah, your profile picture is so important. Next up, your bio. Your bio on your social media should say who you are, what do you do, and why should someone follow you. That clearly. So you need to make sure that people know when they land on your page, once they've read your bio, they know what they can expect to see from you on your social media channels. Then they can make that decision when they're going to follow you or not. You only get 150 characters on most of the platforms to actually write your bio, so you need to be clever about it. Definitely use ChatGPT to help you, but to get some ideas, but it definitely needs to be written in your voice. Next up, your username should be consistent across all of your platforms. So for me, it's Paul Hutchinson DJ pretty much everywhere. If you type that into any social media platform, you'll see me come up. So make sure that you've got that across all your different platforms and keep it simple as well. Try not to have like Paul-96-DJ. It's just too much. Just really keep it simple. The next one is your link in bio should be intentional and it should be professional as well. I use a great site called CTAs for this. It allows you to organize all of your links in a really professional way and makes it interesting as well. Another great one is metrical. But yeah, you definitely need a link in your bio, particularly on platforms like Instagram, where you can't post links directly into the feed. So you'll be able to post an image saying, check out my new radio show, click on the link in my bio to listen to it. Next up, most of the platforms allow you to pin a post to the top. Definitely Instagram allows you to pin 3 posts to the top of your feed and also 3 reels as well. And those 3 posts should really say a lot about you. You should have a start here post, which says exactly what it is that you're doing on social media. Literally that. So people can click on that and read all about you, know what you're going to be posting about. It's just another way for them to make that decision whether they hit the follow button or not. But definitely pin 3 of your most popular posts to the top of your page. Next up, your overall feed. So generally, this is one for Instagram more than any other platform, but your feed should really be a visual vibe of what it is that you do. Not too many flyers. DJs just kind of fall into this trap where they just post flyers all the time about where they're playing. You know, it's not an advertising thing. It's got to be about you showing up and showing your personality as well. So drop in some things in there as well, like press shots, videos of you DJing, anything you can think of that is going to allow people to connect with you rather than just you promoting where you're playing all the time. Next up, make sure that your tone is consistent across all of the platforms and that the content that you post is similar as well. Next up, every piece of content that you post should really have a call to action. So asking your followers to do something, whether it be like the post or comment, go and listen to something or to check out my new radio show, anything like that. Make sure that every post that you do is intentional somehow and focused around engagement. You also want your followers to engage as much as possible with your content. That way it's going to help with the algorithm, because I've spoken about this before with the algorithm. Basically, it'll push out your content to 200 people. If some of those 200 engage with your content, either like it or leave a comment, the algorithm will then kick in and push it to another 200. And that's where it starts to get momentum and grow and get more reach. And that is really what you're aiming for. So make sure that you're posting with intention. Know your content pillars as well. This is something I talk about with my social media clients all the time. You should have at least 5 content pillars of what it is that you post about. So for instance, with me, I'm a social media manager, I'm a DJ, I'm an author, I run retreats as well here in Spain. So they're kind of 4 of the main things that I talk about, and my radio show as well here in Marbella. So they're the 4 to 5 things that I talk about all the time. And I mix up the kind of content that I post about it. So make sure that you've got 4 or 5 things that are your key things that you post about on social media, and then mix it up and think about different ways that you can get that content out there. The next one as well is to make sure that it is clear what it is that you're doing, and that when you're working with things like your website, it's very clear what you do. If you're a business, go to your website now and have a look at it and tell me, if you look at it, can you tell what it is that you do within the first 3 seconds? Can you buy what it is that you're selling? And can you get it really quickly? They're the 3 big things that you really need to think about. Getting clear on everything you do on social media is so important. Okay, next up, let's talk about some of the video content ideas and content strategy around videos. You need to make sure that your face is on there as much as possible, because that is going to allow people to connect with you more. The more people see a human face, the more they can connect with it, especially if you're a big brand. It's really important that you do that. When you look at big brands like Nike and stuff like that, you know, they'll have big sports stars representing their brand, and that's the person that people can then connect with and then connect with Nike. So think about that when you're doing content for your business as well, making sure that you've got, you know, a personal face that people can connect with. Really important when you're making videos as well. You've normally got 2 or 3 seconds to grab someone's attention. So use a strong hook at the beginning of your video. So a strong hook could be something like, you're not going to believe what I'm about to tell you. This is the biggest mistake I see DJs making on social media. You know, things like that. That's a really strong hook that's going to make people want to watch to see what that problem is. Also with videos, make sure that you're using captions all the time, particularly on platforms like Instagram. Those people that are hard of hearing can also still enjoy your content as well, because they can read the text that's on the screen. And also just think it's another visual thing that just makes it look more professional as well. So always add captions wherever you can. With video content as well, use this to have to show behind the scenes of your life. So if you're a DJ, have videos of you traveling to your gig or preparing your set list, things like that, things that people don't normally see. That is how they connect with you, and that's how you're going to grow your audience. Next up, share tutorials or tips about what it is that you do. So if you're a DJ, share some different bits of advice on how you mix or how you organize your music collection. Things like that people will find really interesting. And again, it'll keep you in mind when they're scrolling through their content. If they ever see your content again, they're more likely to go on there, like it, and leave a comment. With videos as well, use trending audio as much as possible. If you do see any big trends that are happening, then jump on them and just try them out if they're within your brand guidelines. Also, repurpose content. If you've had a post that's gone viral in the past, then share it again. The opportunity to grow is absolutely huge out there, particularly with things like trial reels on Instagram. I guarantee you now, if you've had a video that's performed well in the past, if you put it on trial reels, you will get that reach. And the great thing about trial reels on Instagram is they go to people that are not following you. So you've got more potential there to get new followers. So definitely try that. Repurpose old content that's worked well in the past. You could even just make a couple of tiny changes to it. Change the font cover maybe, or do something slightly different to what you did before. But I guarantee if it worked before, it'll work again. Another one is start conversations all the time with your text. So whatever you're putting in there, try and start a conversation with the text that you're adding to the post and get some interest going around it. That way, again, it's really going to help the algorithm because people are going to be engaging with your content and it's going to push it out to more people. One of my favorite quotes comes from Gary Vaynerchuk, again, a massive entrepreneur in New York that I've been following for years. And he's got this philosophy called jab, 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 right hook that I absolutely live by. Now, the jabs are you constantly giving value to people, helping people, giving advice and tips on things. And then every now and again, you throw a right hook where you say to them, okay, now I want you to do something for me. I want you to listen to my radio show, or I've just written a new book. I want you to buy my book. But if you're constantly throwing right hooks and just asking people to give all the time, it's just too much. So really keep that balance between jabs and right hooks. And remember, the jabs are you giving value. So it should be about 80% to 20% in favor of you giving advice and helping people over you selling all the time. So keep that in mind. Jab, 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 right hook. It's a great philosophy. Show up consistently as well. This is one of the biggest things I've heard from many people on social media. Consistency is so important. Rhythm builds trust as well, remember that. And remember, each platform acts slightly different. So you can't just create one piece of content and share it across each platform. They're all different. So platforms like LinkedIn will probably be a bit more lengthy in the text that you put in there. So make sure that the long form content is great for LinkedIn. You can then shorten that content and post it again on Instagram. You could use the same image as well, but I definitely recommend changing the text slightly because the way people talk and the way people act on LinkedIn is completely different to Instagram. Same with Facebook and TikTok. All these platforms are slightly different. Threads as well is kind of more of a chat-based thing, a bit like Twitter used to be. So really think about that when you're creating your content. Make sure that it is different for each platform. Don't be afraid to share your opinions either. Particularly on places like Threads, it's great to get conversations going. And sometimes it's good to be kind of a little bit edgy with the content that you post. Use real stories as well. The great thing about you is your journey is completely different to everybody else. So although there's thousands of DJs out there, thousands of business owners, the way you're DJing and the way you're running your business is completely different to everybody else. That's what makes it so amazing. So tell your story and say it in your voice. Also tell people about your history and why you got into what it is that you're doing. So why do you DJ? You know, for me, I was inspired by Frankie Knuckles, Masters at Work. That kind of Latin sound was a real big inspiration to me back in the 80s when I started DJing. And that's the sound that I play now. So it's really important that people understand your sound and understand what you sell as a business owner as well. So a lot of the philosophies I talk about are DJ based, but the same thing can be used for business owners. And that's why I try and talk to both of these two different people. Another important one as well is to share testimonials. So whether you're a DJ again or a business owner, these are great. So if you've played at a gig, one of the things that I used to do when I was a wedding DJ was I used to send an email to the bride and groom afterwards, thanking them and saying, can you leave a review? That way you've got testimonials for every time you play somewhere. And you can literally ask as many people to do this as possible. And with you as a business as well, make sure that there's somewhere within your business where people can leave reviews and testimonials that you can then share on social media. Because people will then be able to connect with that testimonial or review that someone's left and have more confidence in you as a business or you as a person as well. Another great one for social media is to go live now and again on these platforms. You know, pretty much all of them allow you to go live. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And this really does help kind of kick the algorithm into gear sometimes to show your content to more people as well. So try and get it into your plan that maybe once a fortnight you just do a live and just go on and answer questions or go on and give some value to people. Another good one is to run polls as well now and again. You can do this on pretty much every platform, also in your stories as well. It's just a real simple way for people to engage something. So you could have, you know, two different things. who's your favourite DJ, Frankie Knuckles or Masters at Work? And people just can select one. Or, do you drink white coffee or black coffee? Things like that. Really simple things that people don't have to think about. They can just hit the button, and it all helps with your engagement. So try that. Start creating some polls around the stuff that it is that you do within your genre. You can turn common questions as well into content. There's a great site called Ask the Public that has loads and loads of things in there that are great for content ideas. You can literally go on there and see some of the things that people are asking questions about, and then you can go and create content around that. It's a really great way to get ideas for what to post. Make sure that you're staying in your niche as well as much as possible. So if you're posting content about DJing, then you suddenly start posting things about tractors, you're probably going to lose a lot of followers. So stay within your niche. If you've got a big thing about tractors, create a different page that just focuses on tractors that will attract tractor lovers. Also, communication. I've talked about this many times. Social media is called social media for a reason. You're supposed to be social on there. So contact people, message them in their DMs. It's a great way to build relationships. Don't just suddenly send people your latest mix without building a relationship first. It just doesn't work. Just build that relationship first. Make sure that you know that people are into your kind of genre that you play. Then share a link to your latest mix. But don't just do it straight off the bat. Okay, a few platform-specific ones for you now as well. TikTok, definitely post daily on there. You can do a couple of times a day on TikTok. It's not necessarily as strict as the other platforms. But definitely be showing up at least once a day on TikTok. And experiment with different formats as well. You'll start to find what works for you and what doesn't. And just double down on the things that are working. With TikTok as well, think about duets and stitch. Ride the wave of other people's content. Get involved in that and think about using trendy music as well on there. And like I've said before, jump on the trends that you see. They're definitely worth doing. A quick tip for Instagram, mix up your content. I mentioned this earlier on, but make sure that you're posting a mixture of reels, carousel posts, images. Make sure that you're doing stories, running polls, going live now and again. All of this helps with the algorithm and it will help with your reach. Instagram, also remember the highlights section. This is almost where you can keep the best of your stories. So when you post a story at the top, you can save it down as a highlight. So I definitely recommend thinking of these as like tabs on your website. So you'll have one for testimonials, maybe a link to your radio show where people can click the highlight and go and listen to your shows. But yeah, really think about what you can put in your highlights and look at what other people are doing on their pages to get some ideas for that. A good tip for Facebook is to go live and to use groups. These groups are huge. And if you're a business owner, this is where you could potentially get new customers. So look at the groups that are within your niche and relevant to what it is that you're doing and sign up to some of them. Don't go too mad on some of them because there's a lot of content that goes in there and you've got to manage your time and your mental health. Remember that. But be wise on how many you join. But I definitely recommend jumping in some of these Facebook groups because they're still huge. With platforms like LinkedIn, you probably don't need to post as much, probably just 2 to 4 times a week. But make sure that your content is intentional and that you are sparking engagement as well and starting conversations. It's definitely that more of a platform, more B2B than it is B2C. But yeah, LinkedIn is definitely becoming more and more popular nowadays. With LinkedIn as well, another great one is if you're a business owner, is to look at doing a newsletter and post it directly into LinkedIn, whether it be weekly or monthly or fortnightly, whatever you like. But make sure that there's value in there for people so they've got a reason to look at it every week. With LinkedIn as well, you should also be optimizing your header, your banner up there. Make sure that it says on there what you do and the kind of content you're going to be posting. Make sure that your logo's in there for your business as well. All of these things are going to help make you look more professional, particularly on LinkedIn. Make sure that you're checking your DMs on a regular basis as well. This is something that's really important when it comes to customer service and engaging with your audience and your followers as well. If people are leaving comments and you're not replying for like 3 or 4 days, it can be a bit off-putting to them and they may not want to comment again because they know you're not going to reply. But if you reply within 24 hours, that's usually a good goal to aim for. Another good one to focus on regarding growth mindset and your habits is to treat your content like a conversation, not a billboard. So again, it shouldn't be about you selling all the time. It's got to be about you building a conversation or trying to help people in some way. So think about that when you're posting your content as well. Also recommend that you check your analytics weekly as well. You definitely should be looking at your engagement rate and the amount of people that are commenting on your stuff. This will give you a good idea of whether your content is actually working or not, so you can double down on the stuff that is working and maybe ditch the stuff that isn't working. But definitely look at your analytics. They're getting so much better now, especially with Reels. You can look at the Edits app and it gives you some great information there on how your reel is performing, particularly within the first 3 seconds and stuff that I mentioned before earlier on in this podcast that is so important. You capture their attention. And I mentioned earlier about engaging with your audience. Just put aside 15 minutes a day to engage with your audience and reply to comments. That way you're not constantly on your phone, but you've set aside time to do this. Another important one is to audit your feed every month. So look through your feed and think to yourself, is the content that's on, the top 9 images that you can see, are they relevant to what you're doing at the moment? If it's an old flyer for a gig that's been and gone, just archive it. Never delete it, just archive it. And the same with your link in your bio as well. If you've got a page like me on SocialTap, make sure that you're checking that on a regular basis to make sure that the links are still relevant and up to date. Also, batch create as much as possible and schedule your content in advance as much as you can. This will free up your time to allow you to do other things so that social media doesn't become a huge part of your life. It's really important, but you shouldn't let it overtake you. So you really need to manage your time and celebrate small wins publicly as well. Let people grow with you. So share them. If something great's happened, then share it with everybody. That way they're going to feel more of a part of your journey. So if you're a DJ just starting out, when you get your first gig, share that excitement of you going to play, and then make sure you share some content of you actually DJing there. People will really be able to connect with that and buy in and follow you from the back of that. I guarantee that you'll definitely see more engagement when you start sharing more about your wins and your challenges as well. It can work the other way. And remember, content is a long-term asset, not a short-term hack. So make sure that you're posting with intention and make sure that your content is meaningful and that it's going to help people. This is something I've really found useful with myself when I've been posting more stuff that helps people. You'll be amazed. People don't necessarily comment straight away, but if they see you in the street or see you at a gig, they'll comment and say, I love what you're doing on there, but they won't necessarily comment on social media because some people just don't do that. But you'll notice a lot of people do watch what you're doing. There's been a hell of a lot in this podcast, in this episode. I really wanted to give as much value as I could in this episode. So you may well have to go back and watch it again and just write down notes as you go through. But a lot of this stuff is going to help you when it comes to planning your social media content and knowing what to post, particularly even if you just take away from this episode the content pillars. That's going to be a huge one for you. Remember, a lot of the content I talk about as well is from my book, Amplify Your Brand, which is available now on Amazon. Go and grab yourselves a copy of that. Absolute gold dust in there. Take care, whatever you're doing. I'll see you next week.